If you were ever wondering what's the most fun and most overpowered way of playing as the United States, well, you should probably form the United Sovereign Archduchy as the US and take over the entirety of the New World in the process. With the cunning use of science, we've become a technological wonder by rushing all of the technologies, and that allowed us to get 32 million loyalists and less than a million radicals, 500,000 casual overflow, at least now. I know I need to invest that in more construction sectors, I am very much aware, but we have that whilst being on very low taxation, and we're just halfway through our playthrough. So if you want to see the second part of this campaign, let's get 5.5 thousand likes. The starting situation for the United States is a very special one for that matter, 1836 having been only a few years after the Americans gained their independence and had a secondary war against the British, the War of 1812. So you can imagine that for the small American nations, the bigger British Empire to the north was quite scary by 1836, but we will be consolidating our nation. We will be getting back the lands from the Mexicans, you know, the lands that we never had, but we're still gonna pretend we did at some point in maybe in different alternate history. In order to do that, we need to get this technology done. We need to get nationalism, which is going to allow us to do the Manifest Destiny journal entry that's going to give us claims on a bunch of states around, including water to boiler, which is going to allow us to get the condensed engine pump, which in turn means that we're going to be quickly industrializing our nation. Since right now we already have atmospheric engine pumps, going to the condensed engine is going to be a massive change from an economic perspective, of course. Also, we do start with the right technology, so we can change to the philosophy department, meaning that we start with 68 weekly innovation, one of the highest. We have a maximum of 115, and that's why we're going to queue up a few universities. But before we do queue those up, we're going to queue up some construction sectors. Now, as the Americans, we actually have a buttload of resources. We also have a few things we need to deal with, including we need to improve relations with Texas. So we're going to be bankrolling them, and we're going to improve relations so we get up to 20 relations. Once they have the peace with Mexico, we can just click a button and we integrate them. So also make sure we get the colony in Oklahoma going, and we can declare a few more interests into South America, as well as we'll get some in Arabia and the southern tip of Africa too for some extra oil down the line as we progress in the campaign, right? From a political standpoint, we do start with the southern plantation owners in charge of the country, and by southern plantation owners, that's primarily the Democratic Party. Things will change as we go along in the campaign, but until they change, we have to make do with what we have until the next election. So we're going to try and change some of the legislation here. Maybe we can get dedicated police force enacted. That's going to lower the 20% political strength that the landowners have right now, because we do start with level 2 law enforcement institution. We're going to try and get it up to level 3, both the law enforcement agency and the education effort. Surprisingly, the US starts with public schools, so then the question is, what the hell happened? What happened? What the schnaps happened here, man? Another great bit is that we have census suffrage, so that's one of the best obvious distribution of powers we can start the campaign with. Out of most of the nations I've played with recently, the US has some of the best legislations at the very start. We're going to need to ramp up our economy, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to increase the taxes to medium taxation. We're going to get some consumption taxes on services, obviously, and just luxury furniture. For now, we might add some more as we need. We have to make sure we change our production methods to the right production methods, however, because we do have a lot of these that are not yet properly tuned. For example, we can get the harvesting tools done for our farms, which in turns means we're going to be getting a higher demand for tools, and as such, it's going to basically just keep our economy rolling here. Make sure you also switch to the privately owned production method for the fishing wharfs and for the whaling stations. That means that we're going to get capitalists instead of shopkeepers, and capitalists give more percentage dividends to the investment pool compared to shopkeepers, which means you get more investment pool funds that can be used to build stuff in your country. We start with filing cabinets. I recommend you keep it like this. We're going to go to standardized filing cabinets as we need it. For now, we don't need it, but take note, we start with a lot of our states unincorporated, so make sure you incorporate all of your states at the start of the campaign. It's going to take a few years, so you better do it ASAP to make sure all your states take advantage of your institution buffs, and so you can make sure you tax the schnapps out of everybody in your country, of course. Currently, our balance looks a little bit like this here, so we need more grain. I think I can fix that easily by going from citrus orchards to this, which in turn means we're going to produce a little bit more grain. And the same here. Not all of them, but going to change some of these to maintain single crop to increase our grain production. And as for the construction queue at the start, we're going to set New York as the main construction sector state for now. We're going to max out New York, and then after that's built, we'll see how many more we can fit in as we go along. I'm also going to merge, so I'm going to be disbanding all of my units, and I'm going to just keep the regular army, as well as I'm going to make sure my fleet is just one fleet. Now, the regular army, we're going to need to upgrade that one Lancer that we have, and we're going to need more units. But I'm only going to be using conscripts, actually, for the start of the campaign. I'm not going to use regular units, because I'm only going to be fighting the Mexicans and a few other uncivilized nations within the American realms, so I'm not really going to need a professional army for the initial wars. We're going to get a regular standing army once we fight the British and everybody else to get the rest of the Americas under our control. We have a few subjects as the start, including Liberia. I'm going to lower the autonomy of Liberia, and I'm also going to annex my little Indian nation over here. Yes, there you go. They accepted. I don't even need to worry about them now. 1,000 progress on a water tube boiler, meaning we're going to be able to research this amazing technology significantly faster now. For the beginning, I'm also going to be improving relations with nations around Europe especially, and I'll try and get some trade agreements. The British would be awesome because I can import some stuff from them at the start. Don't let that fool you. Even though we're friendly with them now, we will be less friendly as we progress. Or we can keep the alliance and we can maybe join some of their wars and ask them to give us their northern holdings in return for us joining those wars. That's going to be more likely once we have a bigger army, however, because the bigger your army, the more likely one of your allies or any nation would be to give you stuff in order to join their side in a war, in a diplomatic play. Also going to use some road maintenance, manufacturing industry, and greener grass campaign edicts in New York so we can encourage more people to migrate here. We're going to try and make New York an absolute amazing state with likely more GDP than most other countries around the world, right? All right, well, we are going to go ahead and we're going to give this guy the abolitionist ideology. We're going to try and abolish this horrible legislation that we clearly do not want to have around our nation. Now, guys, at the start of the campaign, it is in fact insanely easy to vassalize or make protectorates out of the Southern American nations. Almost nobody gives a schnaps because the Brazilians are busy with their civil war. The English are going to be busy with the Qing or with other stuff. So attacking Argentina, Chile, Bolivia, and all of South America at the start is an actual no-brainer since it's really easy. It's less infamy also. And I also forgot to change my company. I'm going to change from the starting company to the New York Premium Metals because it's going to give me throughput for the mines, and I also am going to need some steel mills throughput as we are going to be building up our industry. There you go. Everybody's declaring neutrality in this conflict as expected. Okay, so we just got a really great event. Commander Command Civic Coalition allows us to make this guy the leader of the Southern plantation owners, and he is a moderate. And that means we're going to have an easier chance of passing the legislation that needs to be passed and is not going to be named because I don't want YouTube to flag my channel. Fortunately, that is how it works. All right, so I'm going to queue up right now a couple of iron mines. I'm going to queue up some logging camps as well since we have some shortage of wood. And I'm going to queue them all up in New York because that way we have a little bit of a discount since these construction sectors that we primarily have in New York are going to be using local goods, and also because we have our tooling workshop in New York as well, so we might as well get everything in the same province, right? Let's see what else we have a massive shortage of right now. We got furniture shortage, paper, steel, tools. Okay, so we're going to get a paper mill, but we're going to start one in Michigan because Michigan has sulfur, and sulfur is required in the production of paper. So we're going to make Michigan our primary paper state. Also, Pennsylvania is going to have our main steel production, which probably means I should start building iron mines and all that schnaps in Pennsylvania as well, not just New York. Maybe I can split them up a little bit here because they're both going to need it. Look at that. As soon as we unpaused a 600 shortage of iron, luckily we have 5 iron mines that should help with that massively once they're finished constructing. To help a little bit more with this, I'm going to lower the government wages temporarily. I can also boost my taxes for the time being, but that's not going to make much of a difference. I will remember to bring those taxes down, however, because if we keep them up for too long, it's going to affect our standard of living, it's going to affect our immigration, it's going to affect the purchasing power of our population, and as such, our economy is going to go down even more. And we just did Texas statehood. There you go. Welcome to the US. Texas is now another one of our states going to start incorporating these bad boys. This happens automatically once you get 20 relations with Texas, and they also are at peace. Look at that. We finished the iron mines, and we have significantly less shortage of iron now. We're gonna need more iron though, however, so we're gonna need to queue up at least 5 more iron mines. Pennsylvania, 3 of them, and another 2 back in New York. Look at that. As we start building up our shortages, our economy is slowly recovering. And look at that, we got dedicated police force, which means now from level 3 police enforcement institution, we get radicals minus 15% from standard of living decrease and 45% less state penalty from turmoil without the added political strength for the landowners. We can try and push for another legislation. We're going to mobilize the 3rd American Army to take care of the rebels too. And I know what you're wondering, Ludi, you have the regular army and you have the 3rd American Army. Where's the 2nd American Army? You got to be careful with asking these questions, okay? This is the United States. This is the land of the free. Asking these kind of questions might make you less free, if you know what I'm saying. And there you have it. We got ethno-state. That means we can go to journals and manifest destiny. Now, this means a lot of provinces have been claimed by us, which means there's going to be basically no infamy for conquering those lands. We're also going to set up Michigan as our fertilizer plant primary state as well, alongside our primary paper mill state, since sulfur is used both for fertilizers and for paper, and there's an abundance of sulfur in Michigan as well as an abundance of people to work those sulfur mines. Kind of explains why people from Michigan smell so bad, right? I'm just kidding. Please don't come near me, Michigan people. I love you. I swear I'm not a Michiganoist. I swear, guys. Change of plans on the Argentinian war. This is a little bit embarrassing, but I kind of forgot about the war, and my invasion failed, so now I got to do it again. So I'm gonna recruit a few more units. I'm not gonna actually get my conscripts up and running because that's way more than I need, and it's gonna give me naval penalty for invading with a smaller fleet than the size of the army. And as such, we're just gonna use what we have, and I'm gonna be merging the 2 armies that I have as well to get a little bit more manpower. There we go. We got up to 8,000 now. Once we get up to 15 max, we're gonna be invading Argentina for the 2nd time. 2nd time's a charm, right? And we went down to medium taxation again, and we're doing quite a little bit of profit. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna start by building some universities. We have a couple of these in New York and somewhere in Massachusetts. Just because I want to roleplay, I'm gonna get my universities in Massachusetts. I'm gonna get 5 universities there, and I'm just gonna get as many as required afterwards to reach max innovativeness, which right now is 118. So I research stuff a little bit quicker as consequence. Not so worried about the mines, because look at this. We can now get the condensed engine pump, so we're producing significantly more than we were before. We probably have a pretty massive extra amount of iron now. Yeah, we do 182. That is a lot, actually. So we can queue up some universities, followed by some tooling workshops right afterwards. Also gonna go for postal saving up next to get extra maximum cash reserves, and especially to get the contribution efficiency from farmers and shopkeepers. We are at the start of the campaign, so we have quite a few farmers and shopkeepers right now. So this is actually gonna be very beneficial. I'm also gonna get the joint stock companies, unless it researches before I get the other one done. Canneries and mechanized workshop right after the joint stocks and the postal savings, and that's going to be our research queue for the time being. Considering we're doing pretty okay with our finances, maybe I can queue up a couple more construction sectors, actually. You know what? Argentina can wait. Let's go with the white piece. We're going to come back to Argentina in a while. That is a big L on my side, but I take full responsibility for it, and not to fear. When I return, I will make sure that I come prepared for the next attack on Argentina. That was actually a little bit of a Pepega moment for me, really. All right, let's go ahead and make sure we have a return state for all the states that the Mexicans have that rightfully belong to us, according to us, really. And I'm also going to make them give me war reparations. Make sure that these are primary goals, just in case they decide to back out. I don't want them to back out at all, actually. We need to fight this off, because this is not a naval invasion. I am not going to have any issues whatsoever kicking their actual balls right here. Go ahead and get our secondary company now. I'm going to go for home good conglomerate. We're going to change this to the fertilizer and coal plants in a while. Right now, we're not making prosperity on that, so we wouldn't be able to make prosperity on the other company, so we're just going to make use of this one for the time being. Let's also go ahead and change to the standardized filing cabinets for some of our government administrations, so we're back on the positive with our bureaucracy, and we can probably expand our construction sectors a little bit more once more. It's just me and you, Mexico, me and you against the world, or just me and you against each other, really. And look at the advantage here. We got 79 we got 94 advantage over them, dude. It's not even funny, man. Like, we're actually kicking their butts left and right now. And we also got central archives done, so we're gonna go once more for the extra research for identification documents. And you know what? 53% success chance for guaranteed guaranteed liberties is not really that bad whatsoever, if you ask me. Hell, we even went up to study phase already. I'm gonna have to spam a few of these logging camps around. I will eventually get logging camps maxed out in every one of my states, but I just need as much wood as possible now, since we have a shortage of 600 already, and metal shortage as well, iron shortage as well, so we got a few more mines queued up too, for that matter. One thing I'm disappointed in this run compared to my test run is that I wasn't able to get my foothold in Argentina. Bro, in the test run, it was insanely easy, so I guess I just got some bad dice rolls in my naval landing. Actually, I did make a breach here. I did have a naval landing in this run as well. I just didn't pay attention to it, and I got pushed back. I should have set my units to defend, and then I wouldn't have been pushed back, but I was being scuba doobs, as they say, right? Now, Ludi, nobody says that. It's not even a real word, Ludi. Shut up, man. Shut up right now, okay? Now that we got the home affairs, we have revolution and secession progress speed reduction, as well as more loyalists from standard of living increase and less radicals from decrease of standard of living. That being said, we want to max this out as much as we want to max out the law enforcement, so let's go ahead and click both on level 5. The sooner we get those, the better. We're gonna need to build more government administration buildings. Man, I really hope that 1.7 is gonna fix this shit, so I'm actually upset now. Obviously, I'm winning the war, but whenever I'm pushing in, there's like these tiny little fronts that open up, and somehow the AI manages to instantly send units to these fronts, and then they take back land. I have to send my army back because I'm too lazy to build a second army, and I know I should just build a second army, but the point is, this is retarded. It makes no sense for this one little province in New Mexico to appear all of a sudden, open up a new front, and they take back half of the lands that I already conquered instantly. Like, what? What is this war system, bro? Come on. This war should have finished 2 years ago, for Christ's sake. Look at this. Exactly what look at this. My army got teleported here, and their army somehow managed to get teleported here. Exactly what I was saying. This is insane, man. There, you happy now? I sent some units to take care of that. All right, well, we're about to finish. There you go. We got all of the stuff that we wanted to get back from the Mexicans, and we got war reparations. Now, when the truce is over, we're gonna puppet the Mexicans, so we make sure that they will forever be the tool that we're gonna be using to scare the American people. I mean, our puppet. I meant our puppet. Let's make sure we make full states out of the newly conquered provinces too, and out of North Dakota, which has fully been colonized as well. Wyoming also was colonized, so let's go ahead and get these guys also integrated. It might just be Jover for the Middle East, because we're getting our declared interest in Arabia, and we know what that means, right? And we're gonna need to switch from colonial frontiers to some other type of either colonial resettlement or colonial exploitation, so we can explore and colonize Africa, because we don't have any more frontiers that we can colonize in a few years. I feel like the Caribbean should just be rightful American clay, which is why I'm starting with Haiti, and I'm not gonna stop there. I'm gonna be attacking Cuba after. Oh, they backed down. That's right, Haiti, you better back down. We have our entrance into the land of Costa Rica, baby. We're gonna build a lot of banana plantations in this general area for no particular reason, okay? Just don't you tell anybody. Don't you tell anybody right now, you hear me? These are our secret banana plantations, in fact. The great part is that now we can also attack New Granada, and it's only 15 infamy, which is really not much considering that later in the campaign, that's gonna be like 30, 40 infamy to puppet New Granada. It's official. Everybody's suffering universally now. Oh, it's a really overdone joke, isn't it, by now? I think I just saw the French declare war on the Japanese to open their market. This has got to be the luckiest start for the Japanese ever. Yes. Well, if the Japanese lose, they open their market, so they're gonna be able to fix their economy a little bit faster. This is a perfect opportunity for us to make the Japanese a part of our customs market in the nearby future, right? And we got one more protectorate joining the protectorate swarm. So the Mexicans made the mistake of joining on the side of Nicaragua, which means that my war goal is not only conquest of Nicaragua, but I'm also going to make Mexico a protectorate of my great nation. It does mean that we have 66 infamy now, so we will definitely need to chill after this. We're not going to have any more expansion until we go down below 30 infamy. So we're just going to get these 4 provinces here from the English diplomatically once we've got the technology and we can do the journal entry for it. All right, that was a quick war in Nicaragua. Now we're going to be defending it for a while against the Mexicans until we manage to conscript as many provinces as possible, or better yet, conscript as many units as possible into our main army here, since we've just started conscription, and eventually they're going to drain their manpower by pushing into us. Once that manpower is drained enough, we're going to push into them ourselves and get the war goal and enforce. And speaking of, we just enforced in Nicaragua, so now we just have 4 more provinces we got to take from there. Now we just did another one of our journal entries, the Frontier War wars, which means all of these states have become Yankee and Dixie homelands. So we're going to be converting those provinces to our culture significantly faster as consequence. And I've also started building up some gold mines around my country, since we have a lot of gold mine potential that I haven't really been working on too much. And it's time to push. Look at those battles. Look at those juicy battles we're winning. Except that one. Ignore that battle. That battle is not juicy. We're not winning that one. It's fine. We're winning the other ones. Everything is okay, guys. We just lost one battle. It's not the end of the world. Come on. There you go. We won another two to compensate for the lost battle, clearly. Oh, isn't that cute? They won peace. Yeah, we're not gonna go for that, Mexico. Thank you very much. Yet another journal entry where we get more Yankee homelands in California and the other western areas of our country now. We've pretty much trapped the Mexican army here, but they're about to break out. We only have 5 units defending against them. I'm just trying to quickly grab the rest of Mexico. There you go. Okay, the war is done. So yeah, now we can do the rest of the stuff that we need to do. We're also going to be expanding our industry a little bit more, and considering how quickly we've actually gotten around our country and we've consolidated pretty much most of North America, we have hegemony here. We don't need to worry about anything. We also got quinine as a technology, which means we can start doing mapping of the American frontier. Why am I not at peace? Wait, what? Oh my god, I have a revolt in Liberia? I didn't even realize that. What? Okay, buddy. All right. Time to go to Liberia to kick some Liberian people's asses. I don't even know what I'm doing, really. Smelly rebellions. How dare ya destroy my lands in Liberia? These people are liberated, eh? Wait, Liberia liberated. Oh my god. Did they name this country because they're liberated? Holy, this is big brain. I didn't even realize that's why they named the country. It has to be why they named it that, right? Come on. Now, boys, look at our weekly innovation gain. We have 130 innovation plus some extra from the extra universities that go into the technology spread. And that is in 1854. We already researched most of the stuff that's tier 2 on society and production. And we're starting our tier 3 stuff. Actually, let me go for reinforced concrete first, followed by dynamite afterwards. Now, we are mapping the western frontier. It's going to take a few times before we are able to fully map all the stuff here, but once we do so, we'll be able to do the purchase of these 3 states from the English, as long as we have good relations with them. So that's another one of the reasons why I've been improving relations with them. We might be able to get it done after the first mapping, but it's likely going to take a few mappings before we're able to purchase this area, though. And yeah, another thing that is going to happen is likely nations like the Netherlands, like the British and so on, might support the independence of some of these South American subjects, so you need to be careful with that. The longer you wait with lowering the autonomy, the longer it's going to be likely that they're going to get some support from external enemies. That being said, even with the support, we still won and it wasn't any sort of an issue. So, and we started ramping up our production. We're up to 359 construction sectors. We could do more, I know, but I'm kind of semi-chilling in this run. I'm not trying to too much try hard, right? And there you have it. A beautiful American blue is now established in New Granada, and we got the first transcontinental railway done. Journal entry. Now we can get some migration attraction for some of those states for 5 years, or we can get some migration attraction for some of the other states for 5 years. I'm going to go for the Dakotas and Nebraska and Wyoming because I need more pops there for strategic Midwestern reasons. Don't question it. Oh shit, Brazil's invading Netherlands and they're succeeding, not just invading. What? I should be worried about Brazil. Holy shit, these guys are kicking some Dutch ass, actually. They're basically winning the war for me right there. We have so many migrations. Holy shit, man. I've been getting so much pops from everywhere. Yeah, there you go. We made the piece. All right, awesome. So what we're going to do next is we're going to try again to map the western frontiers. We're going to set another guy this time. We don't want to set the same trashy admiral that we had before, do we now? It's also time that we attempt to ban slavery. It's 1857. Might as well have the Civil War now, right? To make it likely historical, I guess. We got a 12% success chance, so that's not too bad, actually. Well, what do you know? The South is rebelling because they want to preserve legacy slavery. Who would have thought that? Everybody would have thought. Quite literally, everybody would have thought this. Yeah. Wait, what? We have English mass migration. So our country is so good that even the English themselves are migrating to us. Damn, that feels really, really good right there. Okay, the Arts Academies of Illinois have become a major center of realism movement. Everybody knows that Illinois is really where it's at. The Confederacy have appeared. Oh no, you rebel scumbags, we're gonna actually crush you. Take note, because most of our our fabric came from cotton production, and most of the cotton production was in the south. We now have basically no cotton production and no fabric production. This is bad. This is really, really bad. But it's worse for them because all of the industry is in the north. This is actually very historical. The north was the industrial heartland of the United States, the northeast to be more precise, whilst the south was the agricultural heartland, and neither one could survive without the other, which is why, let's face it, the Civil War was meant to happen. Alright, let's go ahead and recruit a few more conscripts before we mobilize our units first and foremost. Not too many, just like, I don't know, 30, 40 more should be enough in my opinion. You go, mobilize, raise conscripts, go by the border, and the 4th Little Army, you can station them over here as well. Make sure we get a general for these bad boys that's not a part of the southern plantation owners. Anyway, we got the Oregon border dispute completed, so now we can do the Oregon Treaty, and as such, Idaho, Washington, and Oregon become a part of us. We do have to integrate them, so before we incorporate them, we need to get more admin points. I'm gonna build up more admin buildings, and I just noticed we got an achievement. Hold up a sec. Go west, young man, as the U.S. owned California, Oregon, Washington, with 250 or more population in each state. That's awesome. Do we have any more possible achievements we can get as the U.S.? Emperor Norton, I'm not gonna do that because that's poo-poo. Amish Paradise, maybe in another playthrough, not this one. Banana Republic, we can do this one. Yankee Dixie Nation have a United Fruits Company and at least 75 banana plantation. That's doable. We can easily do that right now. And have 100 incorporated states represented on your flag as the United States. Hell yeah, we can get 100 incorporated states by just integrating our current subject. As part of the Civil War event chain, we also enable slavery ban, and we get for 5 years +1 interest group approval for the intelligence. Yeah, we don't even need to pass the legislation, and that means we can focus on other better legislations now, such as slave trade. No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke. It's a bad joke, but it's still a joke. Now we're probably gonna try and get cultural exclusion. We have a lot of opposition for it, unfortunately, but we will, after the Civil War, do our best to get this so that we can accept all stratas of our society as accepted cultures and not just European heritage ones. All right, so our units in this state, South Carolina, which decided to stay on our side, are gonna get hammered. That's for sure. We're pushing from the north, so maybe we can merge these fronts and then we can save our troopers from South Carolina, the most faithful of southern states after all. Let's see who our generals are. We got Winfield Scott, we have Ulysses S. Grant, which funnily enough, he was actually Ulysses S.H. Grant, but the guy that sent over the recommendation letter to the academy at West Point didn't really know him very well and misspelled the name to Ulysses S. Grant, and as such, he just stayed as Ulysses S. Grant, even though there's no S in his actual name. I'm sure most of you are massive history buffs and know pretty much everything there is to know about American Civil War history, am I right? Yeah, we're absolutely crushing them. Just like in the American actual Civil War IRL, the North had a clear and easy victory against the South. The South might have had the spirit for battle, but they didn't have the support, they didn't have the resources and the industrial output that the North had. Plus, most of the army actually was still in Union hand, so the South predominantly had militias compared to the Northern standard troops. Latin and mass migration. Okay, can you guys stop migrating for a few moments? I need to actually get you some jobs, and I need to integrate the rebels before I get you those jobs. There you go. All right, so we got Capitulato back into the fold, reconstructing the nation. So we have the Reconstruction Journal entry, readmit the secessionist states, equality for all, and the Wild Wild West. These states are now unincorporated. Oh, we can actually make an offer to the Russians since we have the relations with them. Let's go ahead and do that. We will offer them 3 million over the course of a year, or we do. We offer them 3 million. Hell yeah. Give me Alaska. Oh my god, we got Alaska. That is beautiful. All the oil is gonna be here, guys. Don't worry about it. We got the oil, we got the gold from Alaska. That was a good purchase, trust me. Now let's see what we're gonna do about these journal entries, right? So we have a lot of reconstruction to be done, and the Wild Wild West as well is due to devastation and turmoil. Now we didn't actually get too much devastation because we pretty much very easily and very quickly integrated, won that war. But now let's go ahead and reincorporate these states, because without reincorporating these states, we're losing out on a lot of our economy. That means we're going to need some more admin buildings now. And speaking of, we got to change back our production methods, since we have a lot of these production structures completely destroyed by the Civil War. And we just did the Alaskan acquisition. Yes, we did, sir. We're going to need to increase our taxes if we're going to be paying for the Alaskan bits. How much are we losing out on Alaska? We're losing 66,000 payment for Alaska, and we also need to reconstruct our nation. Let's also merge up our armies once more. Oh my god, we could potentially become a monarchy. We have a lot of support for becoming a monarchy right now. Holy snaps. We will, however, do free trade trade right now because I really need to increase my trade volume with my trade partners. We haven't even fully integrated the South and we already are making massive bank, boys. Look at that. We're 50% profit. We're 50% incorporation towards getting the South back into the fray. This just goes to show how ridiculously overpowered this nation can be in the mid to late game. Okay, baby. Okay. It's Jover. It's actually Jover. Minus 2% loan interest rate, plus 10% minting, and we can do publicly traded for all of our production methods here, which means we're going to get more capitalists, and as such, more of our population is going to join the upper echelons of our strata in our society. And I think it's time for me to also lower the tax bracket once more. We're going to go down to medium taxation once more. Wait a second, Prussia's improving relations with us. I'm already in love with that nation. Prussia, we could be like best buddies slash allies. They seem to be at war with the Austrians, I'm guessing. Treaty port from Greenland humiliates Spain. What the hell is this war? What the hell is this war actually? What? Is this a Danish war? Bro. Okay, we have quite a little bit of colonial exploitation support. So this is going to pass pretty quickly. We have 30 success. That's because we have 2 agitators, both of which are working really hard to get us a colonial exploitation. That's going to be a big one because once we do have it, we're going to be able to start colonizing Africa too. And we're going to try and boost it up to level 4 ASAP so we can get the rubber-rich parts of Central Africa before the European colonizers even manage to get there. Wait a second. He who would be king, a resident of California region, Joshua Norton, has declared himself an emperor. He's begun issuing his own decrees and people have printed currency in his liking. Let him proclaim, I keep the people laughing. A foreign head of state could not be allowed to walk free. I'm gonna keep him around. Isn't this the guy from the achievement? I'm pretty sure this is the guy from the achievement. Edward Norton something. Yeah, Joshua Norton, my bad. Have him as a monarch. I'm guessing there's an event chain for that. Since I would get an achievement, I don't mind becoming a monarchy just to get the achievement, honestly. And since our infamy is so low, let's continue expanding into South America and lowering autonomy at the same time. Starting with Monsieur Ecuador, who's got 8 units against our brave 36, and looks like nobody's supporting them, so come at me, Ecuador, with your silly little yellow uniforms, you schnapple dupes. Dude, seriously, my economy is growing insanely fast. I built like 15 more construction sectors, and it's growing still. Okay, I think I know what's happening. I think it's time for me to switch over to the steel frame buildings. That means we're gonna have to spam glasswares and steel manufactories now in preparation for that switch. That was literally the fastest war I've done this entire run right now. Ecuador's defense was essentially non-existent. Luckily for Ecuador, we also helped them with some of their trash legislation, so that's gonna come in handy massively. Now it's time for Venezuela. And this is a good one because eventually oil is gonna be discovered here, and there's gonna be a lot of it that's gonna get discovered here. If we manage to get the oil in Venezuela, the oil in the Middle East, which I intend on attacking and grabbing a hold of, and then we also have the oil in our country, we could potentially starve the entire world of oil, and then we can just win the game by not letting anybody advance in technology as consequence, because they don't have the oil to advance in technology. The Spanish actually are joining in, so I'm going to transfer the Spanish colony of Cuba to myself if I do win the war against them. That does mean we have to start conscripting our units, because we're going to have to fight significantly more troopers now, and we're going to set this a defend front until we've gotten more reinforcements on the front itself. Give me all the rubber. I need all the African rubber. Thank you so much. Oh, I love rubber. Rubber is my favorite. Actually, yeah, with rubber and with oil under our control, we've basically destroyed the world economy. You know what? The Spaniards have been holding their own, dude. Like, holy shit, they've actually even pushed me a little bit. I had to push back. Like, this is interesting. And we just did the Wild Wild West, which means we're very close to reintegrating the southern provinces in now. And we got a lot of rubber rush as well, which is amazing because we do love rubber in this country. Okay, Venezuela's ours. We still have the war with the Spaniards though, so we're gonna have to somehow invade Spain. We might need to build up our fleet in order to do that now, I guess. You know what? I'm actually gonna capitulate in this war, and hear me out why. So all that's gonna happen is, there you go, I'm giving them the regime in New Granada. Really doesn't make any difference. But the point is that I just joined on the side of the natives here, and as consequence, I'm gonna be puppeting the Argentinians, since that is my offer, protectorate to the natives in order to protect them. It's only 6.9 infamy also, so it's pretty good. And everybody declared neutrality, so that means that's an easy annexation of Argentina. Plus there is a land border, so I don't need to deal with any naval invasion in this situation. So guys, I tested this during the stream, okay? I wasn't sure if it still works, but I want you guys to also test this out because this is the second time this happened for me. So I offer support to the natives. After I wait for a while, it's possible that the nation that's fighting the natives will offer to become my protectorate if I help them out. This is an exploit. This is an actual exploit. So then I switched sides and Argentina just became my subject. And I'm obviously going to fight against the natives. So we did a, reverse card sort of movement right there. And I found out about this during a live stream on Twitch when I was streaming as Germany, was it? Yeah, I was playing as Germany, and it was the exact same nation, by the way, Argentina. I was giving support to the Mapuches, and then Argentina, after a couple of days or weeks, decided that they offer themselves as my subject if I help them against Mapuches instead of Mapuches against them. Now, I don't know if this works against everybody, but this definitely shouldn't be available. This is an exploit, let's face it. Either an exploit or just really, really bad AI scripting. And there you have it. War is over, which also means that we can do this. Wait for a day. There you go. Because we don't have a truce with the Argentinians, we can instantly lower their status. So they're now a proper puppet, and as such, we can invade nations around them, and we can send our units over to their lands. And as such, we've basically got all of South America right now. No one's gonna challenge us here, so we essentially have all of South America. It's retarded, bro. It's so broken, this exploit. And also, we just started pushing into the Chilean lands. We let them destroy their entire manpower pool. They're down to 14,000 soldiers. Now us pushing is basically going like a knife through butter, really. Most of us gonna start queuing up so we can get electrical generation. Once we switch to electrical grids, it's gonna absolutely skyrocket my country. You guys probably saw, if you watched me during the live stream as Germany, when we would switch to electricity, we went from like 100 million GDP to 300 million in the course of 4 years, which was insane, really. And we're still maxed out with innovation. We just need to get more education going around our country, which is also why I'm primarily puppeting everybody around. I'm not directly taking stuff. I'm only directly holding my initial lands, because if I take everything directly, then my overall education level is going to lower, my literacy is going to lower, because a lot of the nations that I would be conquering have lower overall literacy. Things are going better and better. We've pretty much consolidated all the Central American nations. They are now our puppets, and we still have very low infamy, so we can continue to expand around the world next. I started building professional armies, so I now have 50, 20, and 5. It's not optimal. I should get 50, 40, and 5, in my opinion, would be more optimal. But I'm not too worried about my army right now. I'm ramping up my economy. I need to get to 1,000 construction sectors, so I'm going to start exchanging more of these to steel frame buildings. Pretty sure if we change all of them, we have, yeah, we probably do. That's going to give us double what we have right now. So we're on very low taxes, getting 700k as consequence with very low taxes, and we're about to finish with the reconstruction in the south as well. So once that's done, we can focus on getting some colonies, as I like to call them, around the African bits and around maybe Asia and so on. I'm also still not sure if I should go monarchy or not. Like, I won the achievement, but at the same time, I really want to stay a republic. Not a big fan of monarchies in this game, honestly. Okay, so we've changed a few more construction sectors, and now we have 1.5 thousand unbalanced for steel and for glass. So we're gonna need to spam a few of these, at the very least a few of these. Let's go up to 50 in Pennsylvania, and let's go up to, I don't know, what should be our secondary steel state? Maybe Washington. Definitely Washington. Or even Virginia is not bad, because we have coal mines and iron mines in Virginia. So let's boost up the steel mills in here as well. So I've been slowly colonizing the Pacific Islands, and guess what I just realized? I'm apparently sharing some of these islands with the Russians that also started colonizing the Pacific Islands. So that is not really Gucci. They came out of nowhere. I did not expect them to be here. Russian New Guinea? Like, what? That is cursed, man. That is actually cursed. I am also aware that getting South Africa is obviously better if you do it by directly conquering this stuff. But again, I don't want to lower my literacy. That's why I'm just puppeting all of these parts in the south. And once I've got all the tech advantages that I want, and I don't care about my literacy anymore, that is when I'll probably just integrate these southern African bits too. Yo, check this out, guys. We're getting every month 41,000 people converted to Yankee. That is just insane to me. We're fast approaching the 1880s, and we've got a good 178 million GDP and growing really fast. We got massive waves of migration as well, with roughly 4 million unemployed right now. So we got to get these people some jobs ASAP. And we're trying to get restricted child labor as well as commercialized agriculture, so we can switch over and have the trade unions get a little bit more empowerment. That means we're going to be able to pass multiculturalism if we have enough support for that from the trade unions. Otherwise, there's no chance because nobody else is supporting that. And I'm still going to think about monarchy since we have 42% chance of enacting this if we decide to go for it, which is not that bad actually. Loyalist wise, we're doing super good. We got 13 million loyalists and growing. 14.2 standard of living is pretty good too. We have a little bit of radicals, and we need to attack Peru, Bolivia, and Brazil, the last remaining independent nations in the south. So after we finish recruiting the units, I'm going to attack them. I'm fairly confident that Brazil is going to join on Peru, Bolivia's side, so that's why I want to get enough troops before I declare my war. I'm also able to get monitors now alongside ironclads. I deleted all of my man of wars. I'm going to delete all of my frigates as well, so that I can get a modern fleet of monitors and ironclads only. So we're going to out-click this a little bit around so we make sure that these get built ASAP. I don't want to have to wait around for the recruitment process for 1,000 years afterwards, right? We're making massive bucks right here, and we just passed to the study phase of commercialized agriculture. Let's go back to very low taxation, and even though we are in very low taxation, we're basically making 1 million in revenue as it stands. So when we switch our legislation to better taxation legislation, we're gonna make 2 million from that alone. Huzzah! Commercialized agriculture, awesome. And we also got the American dream, boys. Everybody wants to come and live in the US, clearly, even in modern times. Let's go ahead and go next for restrict child labor. Now, we do have some opposition from the industrialists because of it, but it's fine. Hopefully we pass this. We have 61% success chance, so we should really be able to pass this with no issues. Thank God for the agitator, Mr. Bertrand here. He's really pulling his weight, isn't he? And that's 6 million individuals become more loyal. That is a lot of people. Holy schnaps. Getting vacuum packaging now is gonna improve our requirements for oil. We have no need for oil. This is the first production method that's actually gonna require oil, and as such, it's gonna boost up the price of the oil fields that we should have. We got 0 right now, but we've queued up a few, and we're gonna queue up a few more right now actually, because we do need oil for that vacuuming processing, right? Oklahoma. There's no oil in Texas. I guess we just haven't discovered it yet, have we? And can we appreciate the fact that we went up to 86% success chance with restricted child labor? It didn't go to the next phase at 60%, but what was it, like army professionalism passed from sponsorship to study to voting at 18%? Like what? Come on, dude. What is this freaking RNG sometimes? Let's go ahead and get a trade agreement with the Prussians since we are trading with them for quite a few goods. That's going to improve our bureaucracy. Oh, what am I talking about? 89%. Look at this. 100% success chance. Why would it go from study to voting at 86 when it can go at 100%, right, guys? Freaking poo-poo moment RNGs. Now, we also just got our power plant, so let's go ahead and just spam these bad boys all around the country. I want at least one power plant in every single state so we can at least switch our logging camps and our urban centers to electrical production methods, and then afterwards we switch the rest of the stuff to electrical production methods as we discover those new technologies. And look at that, we reached to 1 million in national revenue on very low taxation. Let me go ahead and lower the autonomy of my African holdings now, starting with Gaza. There you go. They should have a nice beautiful blue color. Thank you very much. How about you guys? We still have a truce with you? I guess we do, don't we? Yes, we do. Okay. Am I actually surprised Brazil sided with Peru, Bolivia? Nope. I pretty much expected them to, but not to worry. That's actually part of the plan. We're going to be liberating some countries out of Brazil, split them up nice and easily so that we can afterwards eat them up, right? Starting with the Grau Para, or whatever that shit's called. Holy shit, look at that difference. 67 offense point 5. By the way, that's the highest in the world. So we do have the best armies in the world by, you know, as consequence of having the highest attack in the world, obviously. Kick, look at Brazil's troops getting their asses handed to them as well. I love having overpowered units. Oh, Abraham Lincoln. Hold on a second. This guy spawned in a little bit late, didn't he? Where is he? Where is he? I saw him. All right, so this guy is 73 years old. Wait, was he around from before and I just never realized he's in my government? Yeah, that's probably what happened, wasn't it? I never realized that one of the most important people in history was in my government. And he didn't die, at least, because he never was the president, so we got that going for him, right? Oh man, we went to voting with monarchy. Do I really want to be a monarchy just for a freaking achievement, man? How is this guy not dead also? Edward Norton, how old are you? 65. This man's gonna be king for like 8 months and then he's gonna have a heart attack for sure. I can already feel it. The 5 months king, boys. It's the 5 months king, the first king of the US. Lasted for a good old 5 months. All right, we won against Peru, Bolivia. Now let's go ahead and crush these Skumborgs, shall we? I love how my units defaulted to going back home instead of actually, you know, pushing the fronts in Brazil. Hey, we did become a monarchy. Hell yeah. Okay, is he the king? No, it's the previous leader of the petite bourgeoisie that's the king. What? Well, that's bad, isn't it? That's really bad. How the hell am I gonna make this guy the king of the country? And he's 65, bro. Yeah, I guess I messed it up, didn't I? I definitely messed it up. This guy shouldn't have been here when we switched over to monarchy. That would have been the way. I could reload the game so I can actually get the freaking achievement, because now I don't think I'm gonna have time to go back to parliamentary republic and then switch back to monarchy before this dude dies, would I? Yeah, but I'm not in the mood to reload that far back. Screw it. We're also gonna go for the compulsory primary education now, since we want to get our education maxed out. We want to have the most educated people in the world, and the smartest and the brightest and the most beautiful after all. Last holdout of the scumbag Brazilians. Come on, guys, just give up already, please. It's not like you can even win against me. I'm the greatest empire in the history of empire. I mean, democratic nation in the history of democratic nations. Clearly, we are of the democracy. In case you were wondering, nobody's ever gonna be as democratic as us. That's a granted, really. All right, now that that's done, let's continue with these two nations here. Come on. What do I have, a truce with them or what? The hell, why am I not able? Oh shit, I still have rebels. I forgot about that. Hold up, did I just see that? Brazil joined the French market. What? Why would you do that, Brazil? You just want to make my life harder, don't you, you scumbags? You actual freaking scumbag. Oh, we can do investment in Hawaii, which is gonna lead down to us being able to get Hawaii. And also, I forgot to do the Panama Isthmus, and we might as well do the Suez Isthmus at the same time. I think we have the relations with the Egyptians. If we don't, we're gonna get them now. No, we do. 31 relations is more than enough to purchase the little bit of strip of Sinai from them. Okie dokes, acquire land in Panama, and that means we can incorporado this state now and build up that juicy Panama Canal. Make sure we subsidize this bad boy so people come over there and we get the benefits from it too when it's done. And we seem to have more people migrating to our lands. We do have to enact migration control, otherwise we have a pretty nasty rebellion, unfortunately. So it is what it is. It means we're gonna likely get less pops as we progress, but I'll try my best to bring back open borders afterwards. And Suez is done too, so let's get some land from the Egyptians. Looks like they also agreed to it. Queue this up at the top of the queue. We got both of the most important canals going for us. And now I also have to ask a question. Why do we have Suez and Panama Canal, but we don't have the Kiel Canal, even though this was also a canal that should have been built in this time period, right? We have it in EU4, but we don't have it in Vicky 3. Where's the logic with that, brother? So I've been doing a little bit of digging on this Joshua Norton individual, which surprisingly is still alive for us. He is 71 years old. He died way earlier in real life. He proclaimed himself Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico. But suffice to say, he was a little bit on the Fritzky-Witzky, if you know what I mean. I mean, who am I to judge? I too have my own quirks, right? Now, let's see when the truce is over with these guys, because I do intend on attacking all of them. So that's in 12 weeks. 12 weeks, we're going to get what's left of the American continent as our subjects, and we're likely going to be able to lower these guys from protectorate to dominion in a few months as well. Honestly, it's so little infamy now to get all of these small little duchies individually. It's just beautiful. I think splitting up Brazil was the best thing I ever did, really. And of course, everybody backs down. Grau Para back down. The other guys back down, which means we can chill now for a while. We have 45 infamy, so we really should not be attacking anybody else. Brazil's the last one that we need to attack to make our colony alongside the Canadians too, so I'm just gonna give it a little bit of time. I'm in no rush. I'm not taking over the whole world. I'm only taking over the new world, eh? I'm actually having a ton of fun with this campaign. I never thought going science-heavy monarchy as the Americans out of anyone else. I mean, high education, good science, USA is it's interesting for sure. And then monarchy is I don't even know what to say anymore, really. But I'd like to actually continue this campaign, to be honest. So if you guys want to see this taken over all the way to 1936, let me know. Maybe if we get, say, 5,000-6,000 likes on this video, then we'll do the second part of it. I'll be making South Dakota as well as Indiana the primary states in which I'm going to have most of my silk production. I'm using the synthetic silk, obviously, because unfortunately we don't have any actual silk as the US. That's one of the few resources we do have a lack of. And did you guys notice we have actually less than 1 million radicals and 32 freaking million loyalists? That is ridiculous, dude. That's actually freaking ridiculous, my man. Basically, half of our country loves the way that we're running this monarchy. Oh, and the best part, since I enacted migration control, I've been getting actually more migrants than I was getting before. So what's the difference then? That's my question. Finally, we got some Romanians migrating from Australia, Hungary, and our lands. About time we get some of the cool peeps in here too. That means we're gonna have the biggest brains in Eastern Europe, am I right? Probably should lock my doors as well. But hey, look at that. We do have the #1 standard of living now. We don't talk about Hesse. Screw Hesse. Nobody cares about Hesse, okay? We're managing to keep 15.9 standard of living with freaking 85 million population. I'm really just chilling my ass off here, guys. I didn't expect this to be so fun. I really didn't expect this run to be so fun. But I also know that this video is probably going to be 50 minutes long by the final edit, because it's been taking me a while to do this. I've got 12 hours of footage I recorded because I've been playing it a little bit more chill, and I yapped way more than I should be. So I'm going to cut it off here. You know what you need to do if you want to see a second bit for this. Until the next time, check out this awesome Prussia video up next. And I want to give a massive thank you to all of my patrons, channel members, and Twitch subscribers. I would not be able to do this without all your support.